everybody has their level of progression.
Right.
And it's like horses in a race. If you looking past them blinders at the next man, you not get all of what
Right.
you're supposed to get
Right.
out of your experience. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's best to just really get what you get out of it,
Right.
how you get it, how you live. If it takes you a minute, cool. That just means you earned a certain type of fundamental, thick layer fundamentals that you're going to be able to rely on later when you go into. And here, as we sign off, I'll start the car up.
Oh yeah. Nice. Gotta get him one there, man. It started right up. All right, what's going on? Lex is gonna be down here coming to you from Masao, Japan. As you guys always know, got my guy Lex in here always. It seems like it's more frequent than it is. I mean, we pretty much get him in like at least once a week. But in between that,
yeah,
a lot of stuff always happens. Like you got cars in the background, you got the Rx7 that you normally see behind him off to the left shoulder, just chilling over there. But now it's right there under the tree, just getting some shade and everything, man.
Man, usually y'all see it stuck in the garage, but we're out at world famous Sonoma Raceway. Doing our Wednesday night drift event. We started this about 10 years ago, so I come out and enjoy it. But Donnie said, let's cast, so boom, I make it happen.
Well, no, I didn't say I asked, man. I don't want to.
I know.
Well, you got that noise. What's that Volvo 240 in the background? Just riding by. You got a old school Volvo.
Yeah, he was just going up our.
Was it a 740 or a 240?
That was a 240.
240, yeah. Man, that's crazy, man. But yeah, man, man. Like I say, I was telling people like with the landing trip was dope, man, to be out there and mix up with people, man. But like I say, the whole COVID crap or whatever, man. Like definitely looking forward to getting out there. That's my next stop for sure when I come to the States, man. Is come out there and jam. And it seems like the weather's always crispy out there, so I mean I can pretty much show up on any day.
When we ain't under fire clouds, it's pretty good looking up here.
So you don't get a lot of rain out there too much, or just short? Like
yeah, we get a good amount of rain.
Yeah.
But it just you can almost count on it at the time frame, and then the rest of the year, about 7 or 8 months, is like this.
Okay.
So yeah, we mostly can count on this type of weather, about 60 degrees. Sometimes we get those heat spikes where it's like 80. That's hella hot to us.
Right.
But yeah, that's about normal. This is our normal day here.
Yeah, man. That makes it easier for planning, man. Like I said, I told dudes over here when they want to come to Japan, pretty much. I mean, if you want to really enjoy it without having a goddamn triple fat goose coat on, you want to come between almost March, April, almost like late April to like September 15th. That's it. That's your window. Other than that, man, like I mean, July is a lot of rain, and then I mean it's winter's pretty much from end of September all the way to April, man. It's winter time.
Word.
Yeah, man. So they ain't hot. But anyway, man, a lot's been going on, man. One of the biggest things before we even get to motorsports was weird. For guys out there, Lex being a West Coast member of the West Coast. Lived on the East Coast a little bit, but one thing I was shocked to see you bigging up was that Dipset and Locks battle, which I watched.
Oh
man,
my God!
We're gonna get into that, man. I watched that on the way down. I watched a little bit of it when you brought it up, but I watched the whole thing driving down to Saitama the other day. Man, number one, I had this goofy ass grin on my face the whole time because it's like we were coherent. That's our era of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. What's your thoughts on it? I'll give my thoughts on it, man. What's your thoughts on the whole thing from start to finish?
That was our era of hip hop.
Yeah.
That was our polarizing situation.
Yeah.
Locks is mid to late 90s.
Right.
Little bit of early 90 influence because they came in right on the tail of the juggernaut Bad Boy.
Right. 9596, yeah.
And then you had Dipset, who was the swag dudes, the I dress the way I dress because I dress the way I dress type guys.
Yeah.
And when it came down to it, when both of those elements were on stage, the performer, the hip hop, the MC beat ass.
Yeah.
You cannot outwork work ethic.
Yeah.
You can't out swag work ethic. You can't out popularize work ethic. And then we both know the history of those groups.
Mm-hmm.
They're both real deals.
Yeah.
So you're not about to say, "Oh, shut up, pussy, I'll beat your ass."
Yeah.
You might have to really fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that was amazing.
Major props on Cam, man, because Cam is a reformed dude. Because see, like, if this was like 15, 16 years ago, like when when Sheik was like something pussies. Like it would have been, you know what I mean? It was like, dude, you could tell them all of them collectively, man. Even Freaky Zeke, they're all good with money in the bank because they ain't on that like, you know, cutthroat mentality. You know what I'm saying?
But you know the we'll call it myths of the Locks. Locks were hand-to-hand combat guys.
Oh yeah.
They say we hit you with the hawk. The hawk is a knife.
Okay.
They like to stab people.
Okay.
They like to beat people to death, break jaws. Sheik Luch is not the one to play with.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why when he said that, let me take a look at these pussies.
Yeah.
Nobody said nothing.
Yeah, because they know. Yeah, that's what show. Like, you know, the best one out of. I mean, the one thing, man, is how there's been a lot of verses, right? But like this is like the one that's like people still talking about it like today. You know what I mean? We was talking about it
because it was that energy.
Right.
It was actual head-to-head combat.
Right.
All the other verses.
It was just like play your
brother,
tracks and like yeah.
I love my brother.
Yeah.
They love each other. They really are friends.
Yeah.
But they like fuck all that.
Yeah.
What's cracking?
What it is people who don't know. Like I mean, I know it's the same from Cali, man. It's like that. It's like that harsh love type thing where dudes got love for each other, but it's just that it's that competitive camaraderie that keeps you kind of like the Ryan Literal shit, where everybody's tripping off if we don't understand it. We can talk about that a little bit more, but like I'm East Coast, so that like if you ain't got the skin to be around and do like Cam, like you would just cry. He'll make you cry, dude. Like he'll do, like, man, look at this dude's dusty ass shoes on. Look at this dude with his dusty. Like what the fuck are you wearing? Like Cam know they got money, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
The people in the crowd know they got money, but that's Locks. Some Timberlands,
and that's the thing.
And cargo shorts.
Both sides are millionaires.
Right.
This one side came dressed like they would come to a
normal.
fight on the block.
Right.
The other guys came dressed to try to impress somebody, but they're also fighters. They're also good dudes.
Yeah, man. That's what people like. They were getting it twisted, man, because we know what it is, right? And like you know, what I mean, they definitely did what they did, you know, before the game or whatever. You know, it is what it is. But a lot of the new, it was like, you know, it was cool to see a lot of the new cats who didn't know about these guys. All of a sudden now you see it's like if you look at their stock, like, you know, before August 3rd.
Locks is streaming 200% up.
Yeah, from one day, one event.
One performance.
Yeah.
They've been performing for years.
Dude,
one performance.
100%
up.
Before that shit started, man, I knew like the thing about it, you know, what the guys don't realize, man, Dipset and Locks was both heavy in my rotation personally. So I had both of them. I had all their albums and everything, man. So it was, for me, it was like
I didn't know.
Yeah,
it was a toss up for me.
It was a win-win.
It could have went both ways because, man, that gangster music should have hit crazy.
Oh yeah.
Crunk music should have hit crazy. There's so many songs that should have hit crazy.
Yeah,
but because of the dominant alpha man performance that was called the Locks.
Yeah, dude,
it just didn't ring off right because it was like where you would score a point for them and be like, they got that. You were sitting like, let me wait and see what the Locks do.
Right.
Because you know what I'm saying? It was like, no, that song was hot,
bro,
and I would play that right now. But
it's like they almost. I don't want to say because I know they're about to go on tour, right? So it seemed like
them and State Properties joining them.
Right. So I didn't, you know, when they said that, and then I'm like, you know, because it was when, all right, for example, when Joel's mentioned, man, y'all don't do nothing for the ladies, right? And then like that was kind of too. I mean, they were crisp, right? They're crisp, but that was kind of too like crisp. Like that was like almost, hey, Jules, say this for me, or like, cause you.
Well, so that part is very funny because me and my boys thought it was staged almost.
Right.
What happened was. The Locks took their performance so seriously, they rehearsed for 3 weeks.
So they knew. Yeah.
They rehearsed with their DJ, and the DJ would throw scenarios at them.
Right, because it definitely
been. And not just the songs.
Right,
he would play the video up on the screen so they can get the energy from it, and they would counter. So they were like, oh, if they say Sheik Luch can't rap, then we're going to play this type of set.
Yeah.
Oh, if they say Jada's doing too much rapping, we gonna play Styles P.
Right.
Oh, if they say we don't do girls, then we gonna do the medley of girl songs.
It was so fucking.
So they had
dope,
counter punches every single time.
The biggest counter punch, and the thing is, unfortunately, I watched Fat Joe's joint before I watched the thing, right? So
ooh, yeah.
Fat Joe's joint, man, like again, somebody said in the comments, that dude take a 5-minute story and turn it into 50 minutes, but it's entertaining, right? And then like I watched this whole thing first, kind of like as a storytelling thing. Then I went back and watched it, and when he was like, dude, when they dropped the New York joint, I was like, I knew,
God.
bro, that energy,
I went crazy too.
Dude, he's like that. Like the beat came on, and then like. Dude,
oh my God,
bro! That the energy. I was in the truck, dude, driving to Tokyo. This like ear to ear, people looking at me like, "What the fuck's this dude laughing about?" Like,
because dude, that's what my wife kept saying. She's like, "Why do you keep laughing?" Because she wasn't watching it. She didn't know that it was coming on.
It was perfect, dude.
And I'm like, these motherfuckers are nuts.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? If you listen to Fat Joe's story, if you pay attention, he's detailing he snuck in, took somebody's seats.
Yeah.
Did not relinquish the seats.
Yeah. The
person went and got the seats, and when he said, "Oh, Remy called me and told me to get out of there," and then the security was so nice, they escorted me to the car. No, he got kicked out. So if you pay attention to the whole thing, that's what he was detailing. But it was just an old school original type New York night.
You gonna tell Fat Joe he can't get into a joint? You know what I mean?
You ain't telling Fat Joe.
Yeah, come on. I mean, like
not Fat Joe the gangster.
We always say like people got their roles and stuff like that, but nah, son, you're not. That's like if Puff Daddy came there, you're not gonna get in.
And that's what I loved about it. You had so many gangsters.
Oh yeah. When they say get up the stage, man.
In the building.
Yeah. When they get up the stage,
I love that
was
shit.
When it was like get up the stage. It was like the cornball dudes got up the stage, right? And then,
that was the dudes that were on the stage were the cornballs, but there were killers.
Right, that's what I mean.
Literal OG killers in the crowd.
Right. Yeah, I mean
like,
that was
real gangsters. Where the tension was so thick that Dipset and Lox understood that they had to keep telling people that it was love.
Right.
Because people were sitting there looking confused, wanting to bust a move on one side or the other.
Yeah.
But dude, you had that, and you had absolutely zero problems. 0 people got hurt. 0 people went to jail.
Right.
That shit was legendary.
That's OG. That's OG like, right there. That's OG. That's like OG speaks.
That's legendary.
Right. Because if it's like a younger, I mean, it ain't really no younger groups out there that got that steam that both those guys got. And the one thing, man, it's like people. I mean, all right, when they played the last joint, I knew that was coming. We gonna make it like that, and then Jewel's kind of mentioned it about 5 songs before because he was like, "What y'all gonna play next? We gonna make it?" And I was like, I was waiting for that shit to drop, and like the way even though the event itself wasn't rehearsed, it's like Lox controlled that joint from start to finish, man.
All the way.
They controlled that joint from start to finish, man.
That was real old school MC, master of the crowd. That's what
they controlled that joint the whole, and then the ending song, man. Like the ending song, like it united everybody. Like it was It's like they almost knew the tension was going to be there, and it was like this song is going to have everybody in that arena, no matter what barrel they're from. We gonna make it. Like
I love that, and I really hope that showed the rest of hip hop.
Yeah.
You
got a bit of a soul. You got a solar flare going on over your
That boy's dragged his mufflers. Yeah, I really hope that showed hip hop, the rest of hip hop, that the MC, the performer, the workman, the man that the blue collar rapper, the grimy motherfucker that's really about it, backpacker if you want, but the real one is always going to come out better if they put that work
in. Got to, man.
And that everybody, no matter what I say to you, call you 8 million pussies, kick you, pull your bandana off, throw it on the ground.
Alex,
whatever
real quick,
the fuck I want to you.
Alex, turn your camera like down a little bit. Like a little, like your because that sun is
down. Oh, the sun. Yeah. I forgot the sun is changing direction over here. Yep.
That's solid.
But yeah,
that's solid.
It's. I hope that just shows all of hip hop that you can do whatever as long as we're in agreement that we're not going to be disrespectful. Nobody says suck my dick. Nobody says your mother's a bitch.
Yeah, that's certain. And you notice that there's certain things like the pussy joint. That's shit between boys. Like that's stuff with boys. Like that's how. Right. But the thing about it, nobody from outside of that bubble can say that to anybody on the stage.
Nope.
Because everybody
cannot.
Right. Because everybody on the stage is getting their ass.
Right. like a lot of the youngsters that now are introduced to them,
right?
They may not know the history of Dipset. They don't know that Jim Jones was an enforcer. He didn't know how to rap.
Right.
When Jadakiss said, "Nigga, Jimmy didn't even know how to rap on that song." Like that was for real.
Yeah.
He was really a. It looks like this phone, but we're gonna.
It's all good.
Well, if it dies, send me another one.
All right, cool.
But yeah, he didn't know that Jimmy was actually an enforcer. He don't know Sheik, Jada, and Styles P were actually real enforcers.
Right.
They don't know that, and I hope they do their shit. I hope they do their homework, because there's a lot of real people still in hip hop.
Yeah.
But you can learn a lot from a reformed gangster. The gangster that's been to it and been through it, everything's all good in the end.
Good.
Those are the dudes that you want to be around.
They don't gotta keep like, hey man, back in that, like they already did that. They know they did it. People who was around who's still alive know they did that, so they're good. They're not trying to bring in like, and everybody in that crowd, pretty much, because there was some old head cats in that crowd. There wasn't really a lot of young guys. There was a lot of older. When they pan into the audience, you got, I mean, of course, outside of having Fat Joe and all the legends out there, mixed in with the crowd with no security, no
man,
mixed in the crowd, and that's like, you know what I mean? People know Joe. They see, and that's the one thing about New York, man. You'll see, like you'll be in like Manhattan. You'll just see, you know,
all of them.
You'll just see fucking Dougie Fresh walking around. You'll see MC Light walking around. Like they don't.
Mm-hmm.
They're home. You know what I'm saying? People give them a what's up.
They're home. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not many people.
LA, everybody tries to act high Diddy and be shit. And New York is a walking town, walking city.
Right.
And them fools be out on the streets. They might be in their side of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But they move around on foot.
Man, that set the tone for verses, and then to see Tim and Witchcom, I'm looking at shit like, I'm in my mind like, you know, it gotta, Cash Money No Limit gotta be one. Like
there's gotta be some things that come.
They got enough people alive. BG got to get out of jail
the
first.
Aggressive battle.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, the aggressive battle is actually a really good thing as long as everybody keeps it cool.
Right. But yeah, man, like I say, man, that was dope, and that set the tone for like the verses from this point out, and it also, I thought the verses was gonna be like a Corona type thing and like fade off, but as you can see, Tim, and you know what, you see Swiss on the damn boat and the anniversary. That shit right again. On a boat again, man. That shit right there.
That man swag.
That shit right there, man. It's like, you know what I mean? Again, we already talked about before in our previous podcast, and I want to assume everybody out there has seen all the podcasts, but it's like, man, it to me, man, genuine happiness, man, for dudes who I know where they come from. I know what they came from. I know the stuff involved with. Even though I make music, but I'm not in the industry. And you know what I mean, to go through all that stuff, man, all the cats that come in for 1 year and they out, little this, little that, and you'll hear about them 2 years from now. For those dudes to be in the game for 30 plus years, and also to have I mean, you know what I mean, the verses, the battle is the battle, right? But like the biggest thing, like tracks make the beat is that's you know, acapella was all acapella, it wouldn't be that popular, you know what I'm saying? That beat and Swiss was in that heavy rotation for Locks, and then you know A-Rap did a few joints on Witchcom, but that was kind of later on with Dipset stuff. So you notice they did a lot of their older shit. They didn't really do too much of the newer stuff. So like and then,
which was good because that gets the younger kids
like, oh man,
to the older catalog.
Right.
And then when they go and look them up, they'll say, "Oh shit, they got a new project out, and it's still good.
Right, yeah.
It's good. Good quality music.
The New Locks was just as dope. It was like some people when they put shit out, the Busta Rhymes shit, it's just like you already know it's good before you listen to it. You already know it's gonna be dope. And then there has been times where even my guy Nas, you know, the joint that just came out, I listened to it on the way back. It was cool. But it was better than the ones he kind of released 3 albums before that, man. It kind of like that wasn't signature Nas. This one kind of got back to it, and he mixed a little bit of the trap stuff in there. So they know they gotta play to these young cats. You know what I mean? They know they can't be 100% all to the our era people because they want to.
Yeah, they rapping to old niggas because the market is a young man's game.
Here. They hear M on there. I heard M on the track, and it was like that was for us that was a mature M. Like you could tell the stages of Eminem, and that he didn't have the high pitch squeaky "My Name Is" voice. he was like he sounded like an older Eminem, like he was still killing it. So I mean, I had to listen to it twice. I'm like, God damn, he's flowing too fast.
Dude, I think people know nowadays when they put Eminem on,
they gotta come hard.
Yeah, when they put Eminem on their track, they open up a spot for about 40 bars. Eminem's gonna give you 40 bars, at least.
Yeah, man.
So it was pretty cool. I like that. King's Disease 2. It was a good week for some music, man.
It was. Got bikes and cars out there today, or?
Yeah, I'm about to radio down to because see, a lot of people don't know I'm staffed too. I'm about to radio down to the gate and get this nigga kicked out. He's up here doing burnouts and shit.
Is it
track way down there?
Yeah, you got those guys, man. You got to show up and show out.
Yeah, I mix in with the bunch, but I am actually staffed.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but yeah, man, dude.
Go take his bike and show him what the fuck they're really doing, man. Like, hey, give me that shit. It's like then give it back to him, and be like, all right, man, I'ma chill. It's like
that part.
Yeah, man. But
be like, you knock that shit off, little boy.
Yeah,
with the little burnout you doing.
Yeah, man. But a little bit, like I said, not to beat it up too much, man. But like I said, I was just it was good, man. Because again, it's our age of hip hop, and it's not that. Number one is I like it because it shows old dude, like it ain't ages just fuck. I mean, it really is a number, dude. But people think like because these guys been in the game 30 years that they ain't got it. Like Jada like showed you right there, he can carry a concert like right there. I mean, he said he's on Adderall, but whatever. He's not.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Adderall war mode.
Yeah.
And
he was ready, bro.
Adderall war mode is just meant he was super focused because the last verses he did with
it was more kumbaya type shit.
With Fab, right. He was drunk as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't drunk,
and he probably washed it back.
No,
right.
He got nice. He had a couple drinks, right. But he wasn't drunk.
Right.
And so he was focused. He was ready to battle. He was being very precise because they had rehearsed enough for this. And they kind of knew what this was going to be. The reason Tim and Swiss are so excited at the end is because they knew what just happened.
It pushed it.
They understood what they just saw.
Right.
They understood what they just did. They pulled off Madison Square Garden with a huge crowd, with two legacy acts performing.
Hits at the hits.
Which basically just made this a very high profiting concert series. Their wheels are turning. They understood what just happened. Oh shit!
Yeah, because everybody got that because that seemed like that was more so of out of. I mean, I don't know the thing, but that seemed like it was more so out of pocket of them. They both got the money to front it, right? And you can make your money. You can grow your money. But now the record label was probably like, whatever. I'm not sure if they had to get releases to play certain things and things like that. And some songs, maybe that music gets deep for guys out here who don't know, man. It's deep like everything.
What was interesting was a lot of the backing and sponsors they got that went in on it. Some of them got real scared at that moment where Jim Jones started talking that 9-track really badass blood shit.
I was like,
and then Peak was like, nope, nigga, this is OG New York gangsters before blooding, before cripping. So when all that gang stuff started being talked, the sponsors and some of the endorsers got nervous and kind of backed out because they didn't know, those people watch it at the moment.
Right.
And at the moment, those people are on that live because they don't want to be there in the building. They were on that live, and then they started hitting their higher ups. Oh my God, they're going to some gangster thug nigga shit. Oh no, pull out, baby, it's gonna go bad. Because the energy seemed like it was gonna go bad. Yeah. But they didn't understand how in control of the room, because Lox and Dipset are OGs,
right.
They didn't understand how in control of the room those two groups were. Then it didn't go bad, but they had already retracted. But now when they saw it was nothing but a pure success, now they got to try to get in on the back end. And what Joe was saying and what Swiss was saying and everybody was saying, yesterday's bag is not today's bag.
Right.
It's yesterday's price ain't today's price. A lot of people realize they fucked up. Okay, we don't understand this culture, but we want to we want to buy in on this culture.
It applies to everything in life, man. Like what they saying is just pretty much like you get with me now. Why it's a little cheaper. You know what I mean? Get on board now, because once this shit goes up and like my price, you can't pay Tom Cruise the same money that you paid him when he first started making movies. No, not at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's just, you know, people don't get that, man. And that applies to that even my car shop. I tell cats like, hey man, I got dudes coming 9 hours away to bring their cars to me now. Y'all don't want to come to me? Right. Cool. Go fuck off. But yeah, man, that shit was dope, man. But like, it is what it is, man. That was dope, man. We could talk on this thing the whole podcast. I want to do that. But one thing I want to talk about is you just recently released some information. I'm not sure how much you can or can't talk about. But like, you know, clue us in on I seen a little anime meme face and everything, man. So what's up with that, man? What's up with what's the new happenings and everything?
Man, dude, so I'm getting back into drifting like 100% hardcore. I understand my position in my community, in this market here. Like, you know, I don't have the FD ambitions, but I do want to be that level of driver. So I do drive as much as I can. I've been in this car specifically for 10 years straight. There's nothing that I can't do in this car. No, I haven't experienced anything that I can't chase down, any track that I can't link, right? So I understand my focus in this community is just to kind of be like a spokesman, the plug, the link, right? And always be in the mix, drive with the drivers, get drivers here, encourage younger drivers, newer drivers, just be that type of dude, like be that uplifting type of dude in the community. And since I'm getting back into it, like this car literally is sat in the background of this podcast for many episodes, and a lot of people thought it was broken. It wasn't broken. I just wasn't driving it, and not because of any other reason besides I didn't feel like it or I wasn't inspired to drive it. And then just recently, because my son has been so like enamored with it, it's like, you know what? Let me put beat shit out first, and let me bring out the big boy toy. And it's really cool. Like, dude, like people are driving around left and right here, and since they're off camera, you don't see so many people pointing like, "Oh shit, that's Lex." My car is just sitting up here in the cut. A lot of people have not seen this car in 2 years. And then when I go get on the track and rip it, they're like, "Is that?" Because this is 136. I don't joke. This is a 136 dB car. It's the loudest thing out. Period. Right. I have to work at making it quieter, but part of the allure is rotaries are loud. And when I'm ripping a 400 horsepower rotary all over the place, it looks good. It's driving good. It's exciting. So me coming out and driving events, it excites people. And I get excited by crowd being hyped. Right. So there have been people that I've been talking to on the low just because I like to mingle with people. With social media, I don't think there is a person that of interest that if you holler at them, they shouldn't at least get back to you sometime, right? So I've been talking with just at random, just talking with this company for a while. And don't want anything from them. Didn't want anything from them. Just mutually sharing their product releases, things like that. Ironically, it's one of my son's favorite interior tune brands, and I was talking to them like, "Hey, what's up with like a FIA certified seat?" My Sparkos are FIA certs, and when I do plan on joining these events that require it, I'd like to buy some seats, but I want them to be FIA certs. So that was about a year and a half ago. All of a sudden, seats are ready. Yo, we're going to make you one of our drivers. I'm like, oh, shit, that's tight. You know, because I've been taking their product gripping. All of my grip videos, you see prominently Thrash Racing, my steering wheel. It's my first thing that you see on my heads-up camera. And I've just been taking this product on all the grip stuff, all the drift stuff, and now it'll be cool. You know, the outside's put together, and I've got everything Sparko in it right now, but I'm getting ready to get all of their product, rip out all the Sparko stuff, and put all the Thrash Racing stuff in here now that it's all FIA certified. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm now a Thrash Racing driver, and, you know, there's a couple other things that I kind of brewing up, but this one I'm really hyped about because of the history of thrash racing. If anybody knows about that, the drivers that they have with them now, and the fact that it's one of my son's favorite brands. So I'm just like, hey, that gives me cool points to be the cool dad, as if I already wasn't. But you know what I'm saying? Even more so now. You know what I mean? And it's really cool. It's really dope.
Good shit, man. Always, like I say, man. That's the only thing I preach out there, man. Always making it happen, man. People like, you could be in a situation where like, man, I'm good. I don't need nothing else, and it's like, it's cool to see, man. Like, I mean, the biggest thing, man, I think a lot of people out there could take gain from that, man, is just knowing what you want to do and knowing where you're at in the scene and stuff like that. Because so many people, they think they're at a certain level, or because they got association with people, whatever, and whatever, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is and that stuff. And also, like, you're real with yourself, man. I'm not putting this much money into something that, I mean, that's, I just don't get that. Not knocking it and saying that people who putting the money down and getting the podiums don't, feel good feelings, but it's just like, I don't want to do that. That's not what that's
right. And then my thing too, man, is you spend money on like your safety. You spend money on your quality.
Right.
So this car, I literally built with my homeboy in his shop professionally 10 years ago. I spent a good amount of money on this car, but I have been getting every dollar out of this car for over a decade. Rotaries ain't reliable, Cap. This one is. The rotary Rx7s aren't bullshit. This one is. And so it's like, I spent a lot of money at that point in time, and look at the reward I've gotten out of it. A decade of consistent driving a 400 horsepower rotary every track that I've wanted to drive. When I bought these seats, same thing. I mean, you want to pay for your safety. So when you buy a seat, especially a FIA certified seat, you know that you're safe. Guaranteed. You're not going to get hit in the back and then the seat snaps in your head but your cage. You know what I mean? You're not going to have a flexible seat when it's warm. It's, you know what I'm saying? These seats are rock solid, firm seats. And Thrash Racing has a colorful, lively brand. You can customize the seats however you want. You can make them exactly what you want on order with those, depending on the seat that you're ordering at that opportunity. And you can really make your interior you. If you're a wild, crazy disco fever motherfucker, make some wild, crazy disco fever componentry inside your car. Like, brands are starting to go in that direction of being kind of one-off with their customers, which is really cool. I dig that. But I'm not doing it in a seat if it ain't FIA certified. It's just, I want to be safe, and when I enter events and they look at my seats and they have that requirement and my car passes tech, I'm extra happy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, man. That's I mean, speaking of that's why I rock with Bridge Moto, man, because it's like, for that, it's, we had business for like almost 5-6 years now and everything, and I was like, I was talking to the Recaro and talking to the guys here before we got down, and then I'm like, man, you get, obviously you've been with running with Thrash Stuff for a while and everything, so you guys had a relationship, so it was like, man, I'm gonna give my money to somebody who I know, good gear, everything's FIA, SFI certified, and then like you say, the cut, like that's the thing, like Thrash and then Bridge Moto and a couple of the guys are the only ones that are doing like tailor-made shit. Everybody else, I mean, nothing against Sparkle, but I mean, they got like the red, blue, black, white, your basic stuff that, what I mean,
we should say,
right, and and nobody's looking to to knock anybody, everybody is a market for everybody and stuff like that. So it's just me personally, like I say, me knowing Alan personally, and then other things like that, man, I'm gonna rock that way. So that's just how I do my thing. And everybody got their different things. That's one thing is like suspension is a big thing I see out there. I keep it straight, man. I got my connections of who I deal with, but all that shit's made in the same location in Taiwan, man.
Yes,
it's like I know because I talked to the guy who run the factory. He's like, yeah, KW's over there.
Right.
Olin's is over there. A couple of them are made in the same factory. They just got dividers in it. So I mean, there's in case not and to nip the shit in the bud out there, guys listening and watching it, man, it's just coming down to quality and customer support after you spend a grand plus on the suspension. Because some guys, you'll spend the money and they'll be like, all right, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. And they really got out of rebuilding, like back in the day, the old school Olins and the old school KWs. I mean, some of those you still can get them revalved and charged up, but those are more of the higher, you know what I mean, a higher $3,000, $4,000, you know, those type deals. Where they
like what this car is technically a 2005 spec.
Right.
That was my influence. I built this, so I have a lot of HKS equipment, manifold, turbine, GT 50 millimeter wastegate. I've got an old Haltech E8 in here. Yeah. I do have Link. I am connected with Link. I do have it, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm so scared to fuck up perfection.
It works, man.
Car is absolute perfection. I know. My boy that is Link ECU's U.S. North America president. I know he's a good tuner. I know he is. And I know he's going to make this car radder when I put the Link in. But I'm just intimidated.
Like you said, it works. You know it works, man. It works.
And then I've got JIC FLTA 2s on here originally, but the rears failed. So I got FLTA R replacements with some custom valving and springs. And so this car is like real old school 05 influence setup and tech. And dude, just like original badass, bro. Love the way this car looks. Garage BB wing, GP Sports Aero, and TE37s. You know,
it's like a time. The car is like a time. It's like a time capsule, if you will, as far as like. Yeah. That's what you were looking at when you're building a car. And I think, like, you know, it's one thing that's missing. And I hate to keep sound like I'm knocking young guys, but I'll say it is how it is, man. They don't really have their own. They don't have their own identity. Back when we was doing it, it was coming out, but you still had your own. You had everything wasn't online. Everything now, every bolt they turn is Instagram. Every part you put in is Twitter. So it's like they got to do that live shit. Me, I just like do a couple videos, then I stop doing those shits. The next time you see me up building a track, and it's like, you know what I mean? You don't got to see everything. And I think a lot of the cats now, man, they get so wrapped up into that shit. They also just copy whoever their favorite driver is. They just going to copy exactly what they do. So it's like, you know, it's cool to see a car like that where if you go to the pit, your Rx7 will definitely stand out apart from anything else out there. Number one, because it's still got a rotary in it. Number two, it's just like the styling, the wheels, the width of the body, all that stuff, man. It just really plays a different the style of the driver. You know what I mean? Because I just think a lot of guys they just don't know how to they build it and then they don't even look good driving it because it don't look natural.
And I mean, keep it funky. A lot of dudes, doesn't matter if they're doing 240s, Sylvias, S chassis, 32 sedans, FCs. Everybody does Haraguchi style.
Yeah.
Everybody does Haraguchi style.
That is true.
Big BN arrow, big dish wheels.
Crazy. The same livery.
Everybody goes for that style. Me, I loved the Ariamamiya FC 2000, but I didn't like adding that length on the front of this car. And then Hoshino style, that FC was like the ultimate FC to me because I watched a lot of JSS, a lot of Japanese, before it became JGTC, when it was this car going against the R31s. This style of car is what Hoshino car looked like to me. He just had all the patchwork livery, but this car looked like the JCSS cars, And I was like, that's tight as hell. Because remember, originally at this very track that we're at right now, I've got so much history with this track. This was the very first track that I found drifting at. This was the very first track that I took this car out that I was hauling ass, felt like I was going fast. I originally wanted this car to be a grip car back in 1999 when I first built it. So I wanted a grip car look, a time attack kind of look, which got the splitters and the canards and the rear diffuser on the car. But the overall look of the body and the aero, the body kit itself, that's why it looks the way it does. So, you know, just those kind of elements, man, when I put this car together, it just was, there was no exception.
Right.
Had to go that way. Everybody's like, for people that really enjoyed, for people that really enjoyed their cars, how they built them,
you can't.
Compliments are great.
Yeah, and you can't tell them shit.
But it's those dudes. It's those dudes that be like, "Oh, dog, your car would be so sick if it was up." Nope, it's sick like this.
Yeah, yeah, and they don't know how to take that shit too. Cause they be like, "But I'm giving you I'm like, I'm not asking you though. I'm not.
No, you're telling me to change my perception to your perception.
Yeah, like I'm not asking you what. Like, go ahead and buy that shit right now and do that, man. You can go do that yourself, man. So it's crazy. That's why. That's right there. What you said is 100% why I don't do cars and coffee, man. I'm sorry. I just.
Oh yeah.
I just can't.
Because all it is hey, judge me.
Yeah. That's all. It's
my manifold's rusty,
right.
My alternator's crusty, and there's really no reason for me to pop the hood.
Right.
You don't know what you're looking at.
Because when you go to those things, all those guys are the same. They're number one. 99% of them are passive as fuck. They will not say they'll stand over in the far. I've been to some of them. They stand over in the distance and they just point, and then when you get up on them, they be like, "Yeah, man, you know everything is cool, man, but like I don't know, like why is my this how the fuck I want to run?" Number one, because I brought a track car to a Cars and Coffee. My front end's gonna sit a little bit higher. It's not gonna be flush because it's a little bit. For what the tracks we drive, when you gotta do certain changes to the suspension, and I was just driving at a BSU, and the BSU, you can't have a like Manami, for example, you can't have you can, but if you don't have a little bit of like air in the front, when you jump off that jump, you're gonna smack your oil pan, and your aero and everything on the ground. So you gotta have a little bit of you gotta jack it up a little bit. So I just came from a BSU, so I was practicing there. And I went to this thing, and the guy said, "Man, why is your height uneven?" I'm like, I just like, yeah, man, it is what it is.
Oh, front back?
Yeah, he thought it was like, because you gotta have a little bit of, what I'm saying. So it's like, I was like, man, nah, man, I'm not gonna come here no more, because I'm like, all my cars are race cars and shit. They got scratches on them and scrapes, and I don't got that perfectly clean car. And then like to keep myself from going in on somebody, it's like that's not my crowd.
Yeah. So with me being a track ambassador here in Sonoma, I go to a lot of hot import nights. So Sonoma Drift shows a display at hot import nights. So my car is always clean and I have it there. So you'll get a lot of, hey, why is this and that? If they're really open and they're really asking for an answer, I love those type of people, because then I can educate them. My car is high in the front, which isn't. If you really see, the front of my car is about this high off the ground. Right. But they'll ask, "Oh, why isn't it scraping the ground? Why isn't these wheels flush? They're almost right there. You could just do this much." No, I can't, because actually when the wheel is on full turn, it'll hit the fender and come through the fucking fender. I came through here my first time when I've had my first go at building a drift car. I was super fucking flushy boy, rubbing the letters off my sidewalls. I drifted it hard, and it broke every fender on the car. There were chunks missing out of all of my fenders. I was scrubbing my front bumper on the front, on the ground. Dude, this is so usable. This is so easy to maintain. It's raised a little bit. The rear is a little higher. Why is the rear a little higher? Because my rear is soft. So when I'm on throttle, that little wheel gap that you see there in my rear fenders, my tires will be up in my rear fenders when I'm on throttle going around. I was like, so it's set this high so that when it's on compression, it's level. It's just all these things so I could explain to him, oh, well, my boy, he makes this much power. Nope, that's cool. I make this much power, and it's on low boost. Why don't you turn up the boost? because I don't need to. It makes 365 pound-feet of torque. This transmission is factory, and it can only handle 350 pound-feet of torque. So I'm pushing it. And, well, why don't you have a hydro handbrake? Because this one works very well. And it's like, I don't need to be reaching up here, grabbing no handbrake. This one is right here. Bang, bang, bang. So many years using it. It's just so natural. This car is as natural as I could possibly make it and keep it and work well, you know. So I get to explain it to them and not being condescending, because a lot of things that I see about people when they're explaining their cars, they're real condescending to people. I don't be condescending to them. I tell them exactly why, and then tell them, well, if you get into it, you can build it to your preference. This is just my preference. And it's kind of the balance that you have to take to keep people interested in what you do, but give them the actual game as to why you're doing what you're doing the way that you're doing. So I'll be at events 8 hours a day, and I've talked to hundreds of people, had really good 10 to 20 minute conversations, maybe 12 or 13 people out of the day. And those are the good, you know, it's just like social media. You could have thousands of people come by your page every day, look at something, they like it, but they don't actually hit the like button. Then you could have thousands of people come by, and you got about 40, 50, 100, 200, 300 people hitting that like button. Then you got the people that come by that they've hit the like button on multiple things, and they commented.
Yeah, invested.
And they do your DM. Yo, I appreciate what you do. Those are the solid connections.
Yeah.
Those are the solid supporters. Those are the solid followers. Like Zachary. Zachary always, I post something on stories. He come, you know, it's a because I do a lot more story posts than I do timeline posts. And I like those conversations and DMs with people. And those are the people that I really fuck with. I remember their names. I remember what they drive, what they've been working on. Because even though I don't roll and scroll and like everybody's shit, I know what you're doing. So when we're having that conversation, you know that I know what you're doing because I'm authentically talking to you about it. And I've watched whatever you've done with your stories and things like that. So I like those real deal connections and having them at these events where I can bring people to drift events. We'll have the big event, and then I'm up here hosting, and then I'll go down and drive, and then I come back up and host. And I see the people walk by because they seen my car come up here and park. And then they're, yo, you were ripping on the track. You're really good. You didn't say that you were good, because I don't tell people I'm a good driver.
That's the best. That's the best right there, dude. That right there, man, is like, that's where, you know, it's something that I had to, you know, personally, because everybody act like they're fucking perfect, man. But like back in the day when I came up, man, it's like one of those things where I had to tell people constantly, man, how good I am at some shit or whatever. Then I talked to OG guys like, dude, like he's like, man, I noticed, you know, he kept it real. He's like, man, I noticed like when we go out, man, you always like, because we were all around, it's white guys, right? He's like, man, you always telling these dudes what you can do. He's like, man, fuck those dudes, man. Do what you do, and they'll see. And I was like, man, you're right. And from that point on, from that OG telling me, like he was OG when I got in the game already, and we still buddies to this day. And he was like, man, just do what you do, and they'll see. And that's one of those things I just do. Like when I go somewhere new, I don't be like, yeah, I'm me. I've been doing this for 20-something years, blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, man, hey, what's up, man? You know, nice car. Strap up, come back. And then they come to you like, hey, man, like, from what I heard, you know, I thought you were like subpar or whatever. And that happens a lot because guys, like, you know what I mean, they're new. They're new to the game, and you don't realize you've been in the game 20+ years. They only been doing it for 2-3 years, so their mind is only here. They're not gonna go back and watch all your old shit and see all that. So right now they just think, like I told you before, guys, like, oh man, I thought you quit, because I'm like, nah, I've been growing a shop for 5 years. Now I'm back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it is what it is, man.
You know, like me and my homeboy judging that event. And usually I just sit there and I'll tell guys what we want to do. Guys know of me, right? Some dudes were young enough to have seen me. Now they're like 19 and 20.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They haven't seen me in a while, but they know of me, know who I am.
Right.
They saw me when they were kids. That's a dope part about longevity in this game. They've seen me as a kid. Now they're in the sport doing it, and I'm still here. But they may not realize how nice you are.
Right.
Right? So it's just like, I'm not walking around, yo, what's up? I'm nice.
Yeah,
I'm nice.
yeah. Because that's
yeah, this is my car. It's nice too.
That's a weird.
You know what I'm saying? Me and this car, we do wonders. That's cat. Yeah, nobody give a fuck about that. That puts a target on your back. That young boy probably like, oh nigga, I'm gonna wash your shit.
Yeah.
But when I'm just like, hey, what's up, bud? Real humble. What's your name? Good to meet you. Oh, you see me? Oh, that's cool. So when I decided to bring my car the last round, and you know, we're talking about the layout, and I'm like, damn, well, I would like for it to be like this, but let me just run it real quick to see what it's like, and then I'll be able to see if we can determine to make a change or whatever.
Right.
And I brought this car, which is banned from Thunder Hill, but I brought it to Thunder Hill, and I just didn't go flat out full throttle because I didn't want it to just ring off and have the track marshals running.
And then for Thunder Hill is because of the decibel level?
Yeah. Okay. Thunder Hill is 103 dB. This is way out and above.
Even with like
I go make
even with a turn down?
Half throttle. You know, I go make the run half throttle. And when I come back in, some of the homies was like, oh, goddamn, I thought you was going to test it out and not do a 100-point run. And I'm like, but that's what I do, though.
Right.
You know, it's just like, I don't really know any other way. I could probably make it look way more aggressive if I do another couple runs.
Right.
But this was just filling it out. And it's just kind of, when you're so used to it, it's muscle memory. I want to get over there. I know how to make the car get over there. I've got to do a quick transition here. So, you know, it's like a shadow boxing run. And yeah, if I keep running, it'll be more aggressive, more throttle, more angle, more smoke, more.
Right.
And then one of the other guys come in and he was like saying the same thing. He's like, God damn. I was like, but wait though, this is what you guys expect of me. Keep it 100. This is what you expect of me. It's just meets your expectations when I do what you expected me to do. And you're like, God damn, he is the real fucking deal. Ain't he? It's like, yeah, no, this is what you expect of me. And I like to meet your expectations. I can exceed it. Yeah. Not today, but you know what type of time I'm on. Literally pulled it off the trailer. You saw me do no runs. I warmed the car up, pulled it to the line, did what I want y'all to do. And because I did it that simply, I expect y'all to do it and better. Entertain me. I'm watching. I'm a fan of every one of you. Make me be through the roof. Make it tough for me to judge. I want to be entertained. And that's how I think makes a good community, because now they understand that what they thought of me, what they heard of me, now that they seen me in person or whatever it is, it's real.
Oh, yeah.
And I can go out and do exactly what I want them to do, so I'm not asking them to do shit I can't do. Like, how dope would that be if Formula D, all three judges went out there and ran that shit?
Yeah.
Like tandems.
Right.
They each of them have their own little mini comp. It'll be the final, like, top three each time. And they just go run it in a competition format, hard as hell, with Formula D prepped and maintained cars. They don't have to be like the Pro Series level, but just about 500-600 horsepower. And they can go link every course in the way that they expect everybody else to do it. They know the work that those drivers are putting in. I think that would make the series super dope. When the judges say something and they say it in this way, I want you to do this and chase this way.
That's what I think they were getting at too, and the guys are bringing up on other pages was like they want to, the Samuel Hubernets and the Reese Millens. They probably not interested in you doing this.
Right,
like
those
that.
to be the judges because they know they can do it.
Yeah, so that's definitely yeah, man, because that's one thing you do peep in D1. Like I think Suzuki is like. I don't know his history, but I think all other guys that are out there.
He's a journalist, isn't he?
Huh?
He's a driver, but he was a journalist as well.
I actually don't know his history, man. We met a couple of times, but I just know, he's got it. He's been in there for years. He's the voice, like, you hear that guy, that's the guy. Then the other guy, in the very, very OG days as a driver. Yeah, he definitely had got some. He definitely got some willing skills to be up there.
Right, like, grip though, not drift. But grip.
Yeah.
And then he went to, I think, media side journalism. I think I'll have to look up the story, man. Time.
I know him, I met him and everything, but like the other guys, like of course they're all drivers and everything. Like you see Nishida down there doing Nishida, Imamura, judging down there and stuff like that. Like Robbie, everybody knows Robbie and stuff like that. And for me, Tsuchiya, like what you said is what he did because the drivers were not from there. It was the King of Asia joint. You know, keep bringing that shit up, man. But there was a King of Asia joint, and all the drivers were from Europe, so they weren't understanding. Tsuchiya was like, "I want you guys to do this." He's like, "Man, give me a fucking car, man, because y'all ain't getting it." And he went out there and did it. Tsuchiya got in the car with some penny loafers on and did what he wanted, and everybody's like, "Oh, cool." And after that, everybody was doing what he wanted. You know what I mean? Of course, the guys, myself, Shinji and Nakamura, they all understood what he wanted. You know, they drove a Nico, but some of these guys come from Europe, first time on Nico, and it was weird because Nico is, like I said, guys out there that never driven it. Nico is you drift into a flat. You're drifting sideways on a flat surface. Like it goes in and then it goes straight with a little curve and then it curves around. Mm-hmm. So you're essentially going sideways on a straight line, and then you're drifting across a straight line back into another apex and everything. So it was a weird feeling for a lot of guys. Then they see the videos, and you see the videos where everybody's three-wheeling. That's freestyle. You notice in an event when they do it, they come up very little. They don't, because you do that, you lose momentum and wash out. So so they were trying to do that, and they was like, nah, we don't want a little dip like Manami. Same thing, a little wheel hop is cool, but they don't want all four, like the Daigo shit that he got 100 points for. He just happened to get 100 points for that shit because he nailed it. But most guys who come in and try to do that four wheels, they're gonna run right into that fucking wall, man. So they just want you to kind of come up the apex, a little wheel up, and then bam, and sink that suspension and then get into it, because if you don't, you see all the guys who can't, they go right into that wall because the suspension grips up, bam, right into that wall every time. I've almost did it. I've fortunately never crashed there. But also, to be honest, man, keep it 100% with y'all guys, man. Manami, I only got about maybe 100 or like just at 100, a little under 100 laps, which is nothing on that track, man. That's true.
Especially a track like that has so many different physical elements.
That's the most dangerous track in Japan.
You're kind of just getting your footing around that track.
And I lost it. I mean, it's been almost 4 or 5 years since I've been in Manami, man. So whatever I did learn, got to start all over again. So I got to take a beater car there and really, because that line is aggressive. And you got to be in top of third gear, fourth gear to enter. You cannot go in there. If you're doing anything less than third gear top, you ain't going nowhere, man. And you're gonna get pretty much marked down for that. And they got a speed meter right there at the jump, so they know how fast you're going right at the jump.
Big commitment. Yeah.
Everybody who don't commit, right? And Robbie said, he's like, "Yeah, man, you got to just fucking go, bro. You got to be up there and send that bitch." And everything after that, everything else is easy. To be honest.
It's just a couple turns at the bottom side and some shit like that,
Yeah, but yeah, man, it's crazy. I'm looking forward to getting back into it. Like I said, I got the cars, like I just got the radiator in from turn 14 Mishimoto, and so I got to throw that in there, put some brake fluid in there, redo the rear brakes, and pretty much I'm going to go out there and do some testing, man. So yeah, man, it's just feeling good to be back out there with I haven't drifted a legit car in 5 years, like a legit car. I'm talking about like the car you sitting in. I haven't driven nothing like that in 5 years. Like I just been driving like just whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just the Rx7 with the, nothing against it, but it ain't, you know what I mean? The chassis is great, but the power plant, man, that thing make you work, man. Yeah, man. So it is what it is.
That's good stuff. The Rx8s, man. Price has gone up on those.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yesterday's price ain't today's price.
That's what I'm saying. I keep saying I'm trying to get on it, but I just got to get some spare cash and just get about 6 of them, because I can purchase a 369. So let's just say for about $16K I can buy around about 5 or 6 Rx8s right now today.
Oh really?
Yeah, like right straight. I'm talking about body kits, wheels, everything on it already. They just 45 is like 45 is like your 45 to 5 is like the max. Like anybody's gonna spend for that. The average is 3. So mine is for sale right now for 3. But I'm just gonna go in and probably keep it, man, because it's like I think that's gonna be the next hot chassis. Already the transmissions are starting to be bought up because they got the Jay-Z adapters for them now and stuff like that. So yeah, man. Yeah. So that's all good. So what you got? What's on other than the track stuff? Because definitely I don't want to hold you too long, man. What you got coming up on the horizon other than the events and stuff, man?
Man, we've been doing some back road testing, like dialing in our suspensions. Our leathers have gotten here. We're about to go do. I was supposed to go find a motorcycle.
Bike stuff or car stuff?
Yeah, bike stuff.
Leathers. I'm like,
yeah, car shit is just constant.
You're in the Rx7 with leathers on, like you fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, car shit is like it's like breathing. It's gonna happen
right
every week. It's like so normal, so regular to me. But yeah, the bike stuff, we're gonna be hitting up a track day. So we've been doing like some back road missions on our suspension tunes, and we're trying to understand more. We're trying to learn more about what we like as riders, me and my homeboy, and we're going and doing like the Project D type shit on these motorcycles in the back roads. Some guys hit me up on Instagram about riding all the time. I don't let a lot of people ride with us simply because of how we ride. But one dude, because he's a stunter, he came out. He had a brand new ZX10, and he did okay. We didn't have to worry about him. And he was like, "God damn, y'all are kind of fucking fast, man." We're like, "Oh, we was chilling, we was chilling." But it's like it's a good feeling when a lot of people may not think it doesn't translate well in videos how fast we're actually going.
Right.
But in real life, it's like, all right, this is uncomfortably fast.
Hey, but when it does translate to how slow you're going, that shit sucks. Because I'm like, I did another.
Yeah, don't you
see?
I was watching your vlog,
bro. I was like, you see, I sped that shit up. I was like, man, I'm out there fucking because you can hear the you can hear the engine like and like I'm like over this weekend I'm like, man, I'm not fucking Jerry McGrath, Ricky Carmichael level and shit, nowhere near it ever, for any, but it's like that watching that shit is like because it's like, man, I'm being a bitch. I mean, I'm being careful. That track, man. I don't know if you could. That track was like, if I had to, man, that shit was straight Black Diamond. Like it was. I'm talking about like downhill.
It was an incline. Bro, I can tell.
That video did no justice, man. Like I'm like fucking sitting back on a bike, holding the back brace and fucking and other dudes are just bombing that bitch. I'm like, dude.
When you were climbing, I could hear the load on the engine where it was almost about to die.
The one part of the video I didn't put in there because I cut my camera on. I had to get rescued from the course, dude. Yeah, no shit. That hill that it's like a two big doubles, right?
Yeah.
And then you go up, and then I'm talking about you bank up the hill. You got to be killing it. And I made it up there the first time. The second my GoPro wasn't on, and so I cut that part out because I had no context. But I stalled on one hill, and I was happy with myself that I actually stalled on the hill, and I was actually started it up, and I didn't loop out. So I was like, cool, man. I was like, and there's a rocky hill, but this other hill was like uphill and a fucking bank. I'm like, nah, dude, not yet. So I got off the bike midway. I pushed the bike up a hill, dude. Like I pushed a 200-pound bike up a hill, and dude was like, "Yeah, don't do that. Go back down, but don't fucking do that." And I figured, I was like, it's a practice day. When a lot of bikes are there, he said, "Nah, dude, just turn around, go to the base, start up, and come back up the hill." And dude, I got to the top of the hill, dude. I was exhausted, fucking heat stroke.
Oh yeah,
dude. I took my helmet off, but it was so damn hot. The sun, I put the helmet back on, and then the dude came up there. He started the bike for me, and I got on a bike, and I got on the bike and fell off, dude. My vision got small. I was pretty much, I was about to pass out, bro. And I'm like, there's muscling through shit, and I was like, fuck that. I'm not gonna ride this bike and pass out on this fucking bike and go off into the abyss. So I just like kind of fell back off the bike, and some Japanese cats come up there all wide open doing white whips and shit, and they came back. And I was like, Mizu. And he was like, so dude, hops, I'll get on his bike and go get me some water. Comes back fast as fuck.
Right.
Because he just fast as shit. Drinks the water, then everybody. And I'm like, dude, that shit was dope because none of them knew me. And like all the dudes,
right.
I had like 6 dirt bikes. Everybody's, hey man, you cool. Like helping me up and shit. And then I got my equilibrium back, and I got on the bike and I rode it back to the pits. I was like, all right, why I didn't. Because the dude was like, hey man, you want to ride your bike? I was like, nah man, let me ride it back. I don't want to walk back. That you know what I'm saying? So then I went over there and gave him I was like, hey man, thanks for the WitchCom, and then we just chilled and talked. He was like, yeah, dude, he was like, did you know, like, I was like, I didn't fucking know it was this fucking strenuous on the body, dude. Like I didn't know motocross was like that.
Yes.
Like, so I mean, I drink your water on the day of. Like, no, you got to be hydrated the day before. And I already said it on my first video. The track. So
there's these dudes, Buttery Films.
Yeah.
If we watch them, they're like, there's some degenerates drink a ton of soda and shit and go out there and be hammering.
Yeah.
But they be doing it, and I'm like, God damn! Like, I like to watch your vlogs when you're doing that because I never did motocross.
Yeah.
I rode back roads, like I rode dirt bikes in like land mass areas, but never dedicated hills and jumps. So the little jumps that I've hit and things like that, just been that, like, I've gotten like 13 feet of air on like 1 or 2 jumps in my life, but too flat, straight down the flat, you know, and just shit like that. But I never did the motocross experience, and I'm watching your shit looking like,
my thing is, how the fuck do those guys, like, they don't look like, it don't sound like they be cracking the throttle, but they be in the air for like fucking 2 minutes. I'm like, they'll go right up to the bottom of the thing and then crack it right at the bottom and then let off, and they don't. One thing they just told me, don't do it on the face because that's like too late. So you do all your work before the face of the jump, and then you jump that bitch. I got one little baby here and shit, and I was just a little baby here, and I felt like I was in the air for like 2 minutes. I'm like, dude's like, good job or whatever, right? But it was like, man, it's like, I don't want to push myself too, but the next time out, man, just by watching the video, it's good, man, because it's like, man, it shows you could have been doing, I mean, even though you're a beginner, when I was doing the flat ground shit, I'm finally going wide open throttle. I'm finally getting in the wide band, so that feels cool. And I feel now that I thought it would be unstable, but now when you're full throttle, you're fucking more stable, which is weird.
Yes.
So the dude,
that's what I told my son when I was teaching him how to ride.
Right.
I said, feels like you're gonna fall over at throttle.
Right.
It's a very weird concept to think at first.
Right.
But you'll understand that makes the bike stable up. You feel it every time. It'll be wild
gravity,
fall over,
G-forces and shit. Even in the corners, like I know in the corners, I'm sucking because it's like I'm being too cautious. And dude's like, yeah, man, you got it. The reason why you feel like you're gonna fall over is because you're not riding the ruts. And he's like, you gotta pick the rut. You gotta be 20 feet back, and you gotta be looking at, I'm gonna take this rut because you're in the front. Whoever's behind you, like, and I can see the dudes. You see the part of the video when right in the beginning when the dudes jump right past me and shit. Yeah. And I was going like, ugh, and they'd be like, yeah. But I watched other videos and I did learn, don't fucking be crossing over and shit because they're gonna pick their line. So they're gonna
stay right where you're at.
And that's why you notice I stayed right in the inside, and they went right around me because and I did, one cat did run into me on the other. I was off camera. He was a beginner too, and he just ran straight to the side of me. I'm 250 pounds. He just bounced off me and fell over. I didn't fall over, and he was all. I'm like, dude, cool, man. I was like, Daiji, no problem. He was just like, oh, your bike okay? I'm like, nah, it's cool, man. You're like 120 pounds. I'm 250 pounds on a 200-something pound bike. I'm good, dude. But yeah, man, it's a cool thing, man. It's a cool thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely, but so I'm only gonna do those vlogs like that when I go to a new track for the first time. I'm not gonna keep. So the next time I come back, I want to kind of show more speed, like I'm actually getting it and stuff like that, and to show progression. But I will say the track I just went to now makes my local track like look like a bitch track now. So when I go back there now, I think I'm gonna have more confidence on that track because it's just not the elevation. That track I'm talking about, bro. Those tops of the fucking tabletops are like about 40 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
But you know what's cool, though? You're going to get to see your progression. Yeah. You're going to get to see where you came from. And then you're going to get to see the middle ground. And people are going to get to see where you're going if you decide to go ahead and knock that shit out.
Because you called it out the first time. You was like, man, you could hear when I was like barely opening the throttle. And then when I'm doing like a little flat ground test, you can hear I'm rapping it out. But I was like, now I got to translate that shit to the track because I got on the track and I kind of bitched out. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really whining it out. So I got to practice whining it out in the sections where, you know what I mean, I can get it done and then get those airs and shit. You know what I mean?
You see that two-stroke isn't that terrifying.
Yeah.
Once you get to the point where you're hitting switchover power band, you're gonna enjoy that feeling. So you're gonna start going into corners, and as you're going into corners, you're gonna go use the power band, low suspension, and send yourself out, and you're gonna start loving it. And then the dudes are gonna say, "Yo, quit putting the fucking biggest ruts all through the corner." You're gonna be fucking hammering that shit.
The dudes out there were definitely supportive, but they know they're busting balls too. They was like, "Yeah, man, that shit ain't easy." I was like, "Nah, man." Like, and
because it's like a community.
Yeah, it's cool,
track,
man. It was
right?
it was the vibes, man. The vibes was good. You know, it was and I was like, you know, I'm. It sucks, man. But when I go to the track to drive cars, I'm like, I'm generally by myself, man, because it's like my dudes left, and then like the new cats there, they nothing against them. It is just like what they talking about and what they trying to do is just not. I'm past it, and it's like. You know what I mean? I kind of seem like if I stand around them for more than 10 minutes, it's like I'm talking down. It seems that way. Like they're trying to like educate me. I'm like, actually, that's what I would say. Hey, man, you might don't know, but I've been in the game for a little bit. And like, oh, I didn't know. Like, and I just kind of keep it at that. Cause they like, man, you should probably do this. I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool. Like I'll bring my other car out and then you can see what it is. And so that's kind of the vibe right now that's happening with me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But the bike stuff, man, like I say, I met pretty much all those guys, most of those guys all that day, and they were riding everything for 450s. One guy had a really nice 450 and 250s, and it was all different bikes and everything, man. But the biggest thing is like being humble, but also like it'll be cool for them to see the progression fast, because like that's just the way I do it, man. I'm actually gonna go ride probably like today after here, because the track's open.
Yeah.
And just get some more familiarity, and so that way I'm building on those skills and kind of taking what I learned at this bigger track to the smaller track, and see what I can do out there. What's going out there, man? Somebody being reckless out there. I see
the same dickhead, bro.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna get it.
I ain't gonna hold it, man. But yeah, man. It's just yeah, man. To have, like I say, man, to have like you in the mix and have Shamar and all those cats, man. It's like, man, I can't be half. I gotta, you know what I mean? I give, those first 6 months, after the 6 months, you can't be on that. Oh, man, nah, you gotta be fucking full throttle. Cause that's, nah, dude, you know what it is.
They out there being a worm, huh? You gotta get that progression crack.
Yeah, man. So, but I see some guys out there too, man. While talking to them, even though I'm new, they've been at it probably like maybe 6 months or a year more than me. But they don't have that confidence. Like
everybody has their level of progression.
Right.
And it's like horses in a race. If you looking past them blinders at the next man, you may not get all of what you're supposed to get out of your experience. You know what I mean? Right. So it's best to just really get what you get out of it, how you get it, how you live. If it takes you a minute, cool. That just means you earned a certain type of fundamental, like a really thick layer of fundamentals that you're going to be able to rely on later when you go into. Like, dude, we're in the back roads. We're mashing. We catch up to this truck. This truck is kind of going at a good pace, going at a brisk pace for a truck, right? Then he gets out the way, lets us by, and there was this Civic that was just sitting there. He wasn't sitting there. He was going. He was in front of the truck. But as soon as we came around the truck, that motherfucker was like, oh, they finally got around. This dude was waiting for us. Didn't know. But we go to get up to pace, and we were thinking, I'm going to go around the truck and the Civic. But the Civic took off. One of the newer SIs. He's fucking floating. I noticed his exhaust is titanium. I said, okay, cool. He's got at least some kind of up boost. And he's going at a cool pace. I noticed I got a lot of rocks kicked into my face because I have my visor up. And I'm like, okay, he's got some sticky tires on. And he wants to play. So I give cars space. I'm not running down on the car. If he decides to brake, there's absolutely no way possible on earth I can brake as fast as he is going to brake on a motorcycle. So we're flying, we're going through shit, and the guy just was in the spirit of it. We were going for a little while, about 13 to 20 turns, and he wanted to pull into this parking area. Man, he dropped his pace so fucking rapidly. No blinker, no nothing. And I'm like, whoa, shit. And I get on the brakes, set the bike up. But yeah, that could have been a panic brake slam. But, then he puts his blinker on and puts his hand out the window. I'm like, all right, cool. He goes. And then we get to mash and go back to the first start meetup point. But it's just like those kind of basic things. You could be fast as shit. But this dude, you're playing with a car, total apples to oranges thing. And he slows down 10 times faster than you can, and then you scrub. Maybe you scrub and really hurt yourself. Maybe you scrub and destroy your bike. Fundamentals, not having an ego, like, I'll keep a car length between us. We ain't winning shit back here. You ain't winning shit while you're out there practicing on your dirt bike. Take your time. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
But we get out to the back, and then the guy comes down there. Finally, he's 62 years old, I think he said he was. And he said, I've been driving this back road since I was 16. And he's just chasing people down. Somebody come through, bam, a little Civic gone. And he come back. And he's sitting. I'm looking at his tires. I'm like, oh, he got some Eagle F1s. He got a couple of you can hear his intake and blow off. So I said, that's fucking funny because no wheels. He factory everything, but he just had the choice mods. But he's just back there running down everybody. And it's like, for an old dude, it's really interesting. He's got a fundamental set from way back in the day, and he was like, oh, you guys are pretty quick or whatever. We're like, nah, we weren't going quick. We just wanted to have some fun with you. That was keeping it bay, and you get a fundamental set, man, and then you don't trip off of anything.
Yeah.
You're well prepared. You're well equipped to do everything you want to do.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, man, I was talking a little bit of shit on that, man. It's just my guy James, who the guy you probably seen in the last two, he was in there. Like I kind of roll with him because like he's giving me he's just like, hey man, do this, do that, and like he was like adding stuff. So like the first time, like even though it was only 2 sessions, he's kind of like speeds like, all right, well now when you're doing those wide open straights, go ahead and shift and everything. So like he's definitely in the fun. Like so, right, that's what I'm doing. Like I'm just learning like get that way the braking in, because like there's a point. He was like, yeah, man, chill, because off camera, because there's one part that one bank, there's a lip. You jump off that bank, you going fucking 100 feet off a cliff, bro. Like you're gone. Like I mean, people have done it. They land in the woods and shit, and it's like so that course, man. I would say that's like a pro level course. That's a at that course you gotta have all your shit down. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't ride too many times, but he was like, yeah, just take it really, really easy out there, man. Don't feel like you gotta just take it easy because you can get real fucked on this track. So yeah. So I was like, yeah, noted. I went down that hill. I was like, oh shit, man. I was squeezing the bike and shit, fucking sitting back, and then I almost hit the front brakes. And he's like, nah, you don't. Yeah. Nah, you sitting back and you only dabbing the rear brake. Don't touch the front brake when that I mean, you can gently, but he was like, I recommend not touching that front brake, man. So yeah,
a lot of dudes, they'll break their front brake and just be rolling back brake.
Yeah,
dirt bikes, you can stop those shits really good with just the backs.
Yeah, I know, but I did notice like this one thing I'm getting used to is the back getting squirrely. Like when you hit it and that dirt, it just kind of you can feel it moving around. I was like, oh, I can use this to kind of drift in the corners. Like, nah, man, you're drifting your car, man. You don't really want to do that too much out here. Should get away from you. But yeah, man, it's like I said, it's cool to master another skill set and everything. I mean, I told dudes I'm not world class level, but I can hold my own in the drift thing, and I can wake up and jump in it, and just like you, we do just from. I mean, talking right now, you could throw on a helmet and do what you do. You know what I mean? It's just like.
It was funny. A couple of guys, that's why I'm up here, so nobody's coming bother me.
Yeah.
But a couple of guys down in the pits in the paddock, they're like, yo, you should you should do the podcast while you're drifting. Yeah. I was like, blood, the car is too loud.
Yeah. You're like, what? Say that.
They'll be like, wait, what? Yeah. All right, say that again, Donnie. Hold on. Tandem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's one day.
So
we'll
only way you can do that shit is you have like an in helmet mic and like an earpiece.
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I got where's my mic at? Yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
Yep.
That's why I noticed you talking in the other videos.
Yeah. All my helmets I've got mic'd up and earpieces. So yeah, you'd be able to hear me.
But you'd be like, yeah, no, but we're good, man. But it's like your mind would be like, yeah. You be hitting that apex, like, yeah. So what you say? It's like, yeah. So I definitely I get there because I noticed the other guys brought the thing on the front. And they got the mic, and I was like, so when I go to Tsukuba, I can run around and do things. This is like, I mean, of course, when it's serious, you want to focus, and like even when you notice when you watch Best Motor Ring, you notice when they stop talking, that's when they zoned in, and then they be like, Yeah. So about that, they be focusing like a motherfucker on that apex right there, because it's like you can't.
That would make for a terrible podcast for the dudes that aren't doing the video portion. Yeah, just doing the audio. They'll be like, "Why the fuck are there these long pregnant pauses?"
Yeah.
Oh, because he's drifting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man, it's cool, man. Like I said, there's so much more shit to come, man. I'm just excited about everything, man. Just like, you know. And I say that, man, like wrapping everything up, man. It's just like all the shit going on. They talking about you guys about to be back in mask and all. It's like they don't know what the fuck's going on. Then they rolling out the.
I've kept mine on me. It's been part of my ensemble. We are now going to be required as essential workers to either have the vaccination or be subject to constant COVID testing. Right. I'm fine with that. I don't want to be forced to take. Now, I'm not against vaccination, right. But I just, because I'm rebellious, you're not going to tell me I have to get stuck with something. And I don't want to get too political with anything here, but it's not a vaccination, it's a shot. The shot is to help your body not succumb to the element, the sickness, the ailments, the fatigues, and all of that of the COVID. So wouldn't that be weird that you have it and you're just walking around bringing it to people?
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor or anything, and I just play one on TV, but I don't know. It's like your car. I drive it. If I'm foot to the floor and that motherfucker stumbles, I know something's wrong. My body does that. It tells me something's wrong. Okay.
Sometimes
all
instantly.
Right.
Wait.
Be around somebody and now you're sick. You get sick. Oh man, my throat.
Well, shit. Like I'm talking about, like, as far as like you wake up in the morning. Like say you wake up in the morning, it's like one of the worst things. I never done it. One of the worst things you do to your body is wake up. As soon as you wake up, is smoke a cigarette. Or say if you wake up and like no shit, I've done it before. You wake up and you fucking drink, and I'm talking about the first thing that hits your mouth when you wake up from a long normal sleep. Drink some sweet ass Kool-Aid, and then notice about 5 seconds later your fucking throat starts to shrivel and your stomach's like, what the fuck? And like you get this, you've done it before. You get this when you drink some sugar before you eat some food or some sweet ass shit. As the first thing you ate or drunk that day, you get that weird ass kind of headache, kind of stomach hurting type shit.
Yeah, you get a lot. Well, the stomach thing, I and it's crazy. It must be because I ate so much cereal as a kid. But if I get up in the morning, first thing in the morning, and I have cold cereal, it's not like I got a shit. It's not I got a fart. My stomach hurts so bad, and it hurts. Cramping thing. Yeah. No farts coming. Right. Like you'll say,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah. No, it's internal.
Like my body's like, no, why did you do that? Why the fuck did you do that? Yeah. First thing in the morning, and I've lived this for years. Don't know. I mean,
I don't eat. I can't eat. I don't like eating in the morning for that. I don't eat anything for the first 3 hours when I wake up. That's just.
Yeah. Your body got to get fired up.
Yeah.
Get to action. But what I do first thing in the morning is at least, like, I always got these are 33-ounce joints. I go through about 3 of them a day. When I first thing in the morning, when I get up, crack
that's
one
good
and
shit.
Drink,
that's good shit, man.
Drink about 8 ounces of water.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Very first thing in the day. Your body will be all right. You can take kind of whatever after that. Yeah. But it's just like, yeah, you you do shit, your body tells you something. I'm not anti anything. I would just like something to be proven that it's what it says it is, and I'm cool with all of that. If it does come down to it, where California's like, no, motherfucker, you better take it to work. Well, I got to take it. Yeah. I'm not anti. You're not.
Yeah, that's
say,
the same. I don't. Yeah, same thing, man. I can actually get it. I can get it because I got the 80% disability and I got the base right here. I haven't called them, but I know if I call them, but yeah, come in tomorrow and do it. I just.
Yep.
It's not that it's just I don't. You know what I mean? It's not a mandated thing where it's affecting my way of life, and that's why I haven't done it. I
would just like the opportunity to avoid it,
right?
Cunningly, right?
Right.
Like my best practices, I stay in open air areas. Right. When I'm working with people, I always have my mask on. I like to know that I've avoided it because, see, the only reason I got it was because my wife's job was having very reckless practices, and because they started letting in all kind of customers, she caught it and she brought it home to me. But I'm around so many people, so many different projects, so many work sites that I take COVID tests all the time, and I've been I'm gonna say I've got 100% rate of going out in this world working, being COVID free, taking a lot of COVID tests. And that was the only way that they got me, was through her. But I would like to keep being able to avoid it by best practices.
Got you.
I take the test to make sure that I don't have it. A lot of my sites here, Santa Clara area, San Francisco area, I have to take a COVID test. I have to have 4 results on my phone that are within 48 hours of the time that I'm rolling there. I have to have these results.
So how much would you wager as of right now have you spent on Corona tests, man? Like out of pocket?
Free.
Really?
They're free.
Oh, really?
And that's why I don't mind taking them. I don't have to spend nothing on them. At first they were costing people, but legislation
are these the PCR or the antigen ones?
PCRs. Okay. That's the only one that you would want to take.
Right.
The PCRs. And I have taken a lot of them. Now, I mean, they still make your eyes water. I don't think they can get past the point that it fucking makes your eyes water. But I've taken a ton of them. I've stayed very safe and kind of would like to stay on that path. I don't mind taking them. But getting a shot, I haven't had a flu shot since I was a child. I learned early. Oh shit! This phone's on low battery.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I learned early to wash my hands, keep my hands out of my mouth, and shit like that. I would kind of like to learn how to maneuver this, because if this is gonna be here for a while, let's figure it out.
Yeah, my thing about it, man, it's like to close it out, man. It's like it's kind of like when you get when PlayStation 2 1 and all that stuff came out, there was no internet. PlayStation had a little adapter or whatever, but PlayStation 3 started like the whole, pretty much like the whole updates and all that crap like that. You good?
Chilling. I'm gonna come down there in a second. Yeah.
Yeah, but like PlayStation 3 came out and that was the first one that had like updates and stuff like that. And you notice like with me, what I did for even PlayStation 4, I ain't got a PlayStation 5 yet. It's like they I waited for the first wave of guys to get it, and you notice they all had the heating issues or they had this and blah, blah, blah. Well, a year later, they figured everything out. They got a patch for it, and it's like, I didn't want to be on that first wave of people to get that shit. And then some people had straight up, bad results from it. You know what I mean? Like, but it was the luck of the draw. It's like they wanted to get it. They were
Same
older.
with cars.
Yeah.
You buy a brand new car, it's going to have recalls.
Recall, yeah.
You get it right.
Yeah.
I want it. I do want it.
Yeah.
I want that PS5.
Yeah. But I don't have a reason to get it right now. You know why? And I think it's the same for you. It's like ain't GTA.
Yeah, but it's like I want it. Yeah. I just want it to be right.
Right.
And I want a need for it. And let's just get the shit right.
Yeah, man. So it's development, stuff like that. I don't know if maybe Kaz Nori will hold it back because maybe it's going to be a PS5 Part 2 that's going to have a little bit more.
He fucked it up by saying it was going to be released on 4 and 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get that.
I don't know what's up with that guy, man.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that.
That's a whole down. That's a whole freaking.
I've got a whole nother. I've got a rant about Kazunori and Polyphony Digital.
Yeah.
They're fucking it up.
Yeah.
Because
and it's coming from people who
that's been in it since GT, original Gran Turismo. We're older.
Right.
We don't just throw you our money just because you're our overlord.
Right.
Motherfucker, I've been paying attention to what you're doing and what else is being offered out here. Get with the shit.
Seto was up there. You got Project Cars doing their thing. Like even
Car X Drift, a phone mobile app game, became the greatest drift game on console.
Yeah. Yeah, and people. I'm glad that we saying that because people just think we're like unbiased fanboys. Like, no, we rock with it because that's what we came up on it. But it's now getting to a point where now we're like, all right, dude, you've been doing the same shit. That's like if I throw a video out 5 years from now and I'm riding that same CR135 and I'm like still like, what the fuck you doing, dude? If you riding that bitch,
bro,
you should be.
I love that game because I grew up with it.
Yeah.
It's been a part of my life since I was 15. But bro,
it ain't.
I can call you on your shit now.
Yeah.
We're family members.
Yeah.
You full of shit.
Yeah,
bro.
you got my.
Give me something.
You got my money. You know, I've given you my money multiple times, man. And it's like
I've had it on every single console.
Mm-hmm.
We're down. 23 years later. Motherfucker, give me what I deserve. Because I've been bred for 23 years, man.
Hopefully, man. But I, to be honest, man, Japanese still use fax machine, man, and I'll leave it on that. That's I mean, it's like they don't really, they kind of get in their zone of what they want to do as Japanese people, and they kind of stay in that zone, man, no matter what. And it affects everything from birth rates and all types of shit. It's deep. And one little, I make a joke about it, but seriously, the fact number one, I gotta go out here and print some shit to fax it. We emailing back and forth right now, but they want me to fax the fucking invoice. I'm like, bro, I can attach the PDF. I can attach a PDF and you can open that bitch up and print it out on your end. They want me to fax the fucking they want me to print the PDF out and fax it to them. I'm like, dude, all right, man, whatever. I'll do it, man.
Later for that shit.
It's just like, dude, my wife would do that shit, man. It's just like they don't want to, they just do that thing, man. So anyway, man, we'll definitely get out here and want the phone to die on us and everything, man. But again, guys, just make sure this is probably one of the quicker ones we've done in a while. And it was still good, man. So again, man, to recap and everything, we did the Dipset stuff and everything, man, and Lexis' new adventure with Thrash Racing, correct? Thrash Racing and everything.
Thrash Racing. It's been around for a minute. The story's great. The ownership is cool. Nobody knows if they're in Japan or in America. Right. Some people do now, but who knows where they're based out of. The shit's just cool, and they reach out.
Good shit.
And I like it. So,
good shit, man.
I like to support stuff that I enjoy. Right. So I like it. I'm with it, and I'm back to driving. So.
Yeah, and that's dope. That's not dope. It's like kind of the same thing as you got your joints out there, and then my joint's probably been a track like sometime next week. Is like they both been dormant as fuck for a little bit, and now they both be ripping at the same time and shit. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yep.
And then even the other S14 I got, that was an old FD car, FDD1 car. Mm-hmm. So that was about to be up and about, and that was been dormant for like almost close to 10 years. So damn. Yeah, man. So it's kind of cool. And we talked about it before, man. There's a bunch of like relics. I'm talking about JGTC cars out there that are just sitting in the pasture, and I'm gonna get some of them, dude. Because I mean, I'd rather spend money on that shit. I'd rather spend 20K on a retired JGTC car than go and spend 20-30K on a GTR, that just regular ass car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm on, and there's a lot of cars out there. So that'll be some cool vlog shit too. You know what I mean? So get a bunch of those, run them and everything. But again, man, Lex, thanks for the time, man. We always chop it up. It's always a good conversation, man. We could easily do 5-6 hour podcasts, but that would be too much people to
one day you need to do a live stream where people are giving you donations.
Yeah.
And we'll do that.
What I had to do with you on that is we talked about it before, but we haven't done it. But I got to do a closed circuit live so I can sync.
Yeah.
So we can sync the audio. That way it's like live. It's like what we're saying is because you gotta change the milliseconds on your end, and I gotta change the milliseconds for your end, and I gotta change the milliseconds for my end to match up, so that way we're both like in line with the live. We just gotta trial and error it and get somebody to watch it for us and stuff like that, man.
Yeah,
so
we'll try.
Yeah, we definitely can do that. And I want to get in a segment where we'll have like we'll say when we're gonna go, and we can have dudes like call in because we got the member thing now, so they can call in. Yeah, and we with who we had on when was it Literal? Yeah, because Literal had popped in. Because remember we tried to do it with
that was my Power that popped in on when we were in the combo.
Power. It was that one where it wouldn't come on. We had to actually stop it and start it. And then Literal, like he just popped in, so now it's and Mike Pollard had popped in too. So mostly Power is the one that we had the issue with and everything, but it's all good. But yeah, man, good stuff. We definitely gonna do it. More stuff to come, and yeah, man, it's be easy out there, man. Go get that motherfucker who's doing the burnouts and everything, and take his bike from him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get that motherfucker and then
say, hey, man, what do you like straight up? Like, hey, man, you doing burnouts and shit? Like, no small talk.
He gonna say nope. Be like, shut up, bitch. I know exactly what I was looking at and what I was hearing. You the only motherfucking MV Agusta around here.
Yeah, I can hear it. All right, man. But be easy out there. Be safe again. It's gonna be Lex coming to you from Sonoma. He's at Sonoma today.
Yeah, Sonoma Raceway.
Sonoma Raceway from the track, and I'm Pinkustyle, Japan, everything, about to get out of here for the Japanese holiday, Obon and everything, and do all that stuff. So again, guys, there, thank you for checking in. My bad at the very end. Alan Arch out there get better, man. He had a real near fatal type accident, and he's been rocking with the podcast in the hospital. He might be in there, might be out. But yeah, man, it's like, life is short. Shit happens really easy. Just make sure you got your PPE on, your helmet, your gears, and stuff like that when you're really getting it in, man. Because I fell off the bike 2-3 weeks ago, man. Just it was low speed, but if I didn't have a helmet on, I definitely had fucking stitches and everything, man. So just do what you do, man. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, signing out and everything. Make sure you guys are safe out there. Do what you gotta do for you, and keep it real, keep it straight, and you'll be good, man. So see you guys later. Peace.
And here, as we sign off, I'll start the car up.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Got to get him one there, man. It started right up, man. But cool, guys. Later.